Good evening, everyone, and welcome to San Antonio by Night. We are starting episode 1 of season 2, this season entitled The Oncoming Storm. Thank you, everyone, for coming by. And so, tonight we are starting a little bit ahead of time. Our coterie's been working on the mundane tasks of day-to-day unlife over the past week, such as getting in contact with individuals in regards to setting up a new black mass and everything that revolves around those kinds of festivities, as well as maybe doing some organizing of their own individually to set themselves up for a better response for what may be lying ahead. So, that is where we begin tonight. To give you a little bit of insight as to what is going on currently, why don't we talk to Benji and see what little things he may have been doing and what he plans to do tonight to better prepare for this Camarilla specter of death.
Camarilla. You know, I've heard the term so many times before, and I only have a vague idea, a memory of what it means now. I think I'm starting to get some concept of it, but honestly, it's a whole different beast. It's different from Anarch, and it's different from Sabat. I honestly wouldn't have known where to start, but luckily, there were a few directions I could take. Carlos said he has access to some security systems. If we can get that set up off the grid, that'll help our haven as well as the domain as a whole. It'll keep us better prepared in case we have any scouts or spies come through. We'll at least have a shot at seeing them before they see us. In fact, I kind of want to think maybe we already do see them before they see us. I want to think that. But that's wishful thinking. The other direction I can take is putting a lot of fire and heat on me, but I gotta come up with something. I think I'm gonna keep following Rascal's trail. I think I'm gonna keep seeing what he has in terms of resources. Maybe if I put just enough heat on him, he might want to jump out of the coals there and offer me something. Or, I could just tear him in two and take everything he has. That works too. Everything else is just, for now, supporting my coterie members, my mates. I've already, for lack of a better term, dug my grave with them.
An interesting choice of words. Dug your grave with them. In for the long haul, I guess.
The longest one I've probably ever had. And maybe the last one. We'll see.
That brings us over to Amber, the newest member of this little group of individual kindred. Perhaps the least invested, and yet the one who was the quickest to say that they backed the whole coterie. What are your thoughts, Amber?
Well, I suppose good to be a part of something that's, actually my choice to be a part of for a change. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? Choice. It's just, it helps. Helps my mindset over the since we're moving to a newer place. I'm gonna bring some of my stuff with me so that I don't have to bounce back and forth between the haven. Just a couple of different sets of clothing so that if I need to change out of, something bloodstained into something not, that I don't need to make a detour to do it. It's a good idea to have those sorts of things on hand, especially since, well, I mean, if I need to help our other female member dress for any events, it means I've got everything here to do so. I do wonder how Em would look in one of my dresses. I'll have to see if she's down for a little bit of a fashion show sometime.
Seems like a perfect bonding experience.
Yes, bonding.
Speaking of, Urian, you've gone down a little bit of a path, nearly bonding yourself to M, having drank some of her vitae. What are your plans to keep that delicious vitae flowing?
First and foremost, I'm more concerned about securing a new haven. As much as I am disdained to admit it, and I do hunger, I am still preparing myself. I only have one safe house in this entire city. That is unacceptable. You need to have several different places and only a few know exactly how to find you. Thankfully, if the... how shall I put this? The trespassers were already having a hard enough time, then that's the first bit of security. Then I find out who is worthy of feeding in this domain. Still, I do hunger quite a bit. And as much as I am grateful to M, oh my precious M, I am wondering how much longer I can hold out. With enough blood, I can end up solving this problem with little more than a flick of a finger. But right now, I can only end up imagining where we are going to end up taking this. New Haven, a proper herd, resources, weapons, intelligence upon the enemy and their approach. I listen with what contacts I do have. I hold my black masses in hopes that my followers will end up finding something amiss. something that may lead to the Camarilla. But truthfully, my mind is elsewhere on the horrible question. One that has haunted me this whole week. What am I really here? Old habits die hard, after all. And I can already see it when I end up crossing Benji. That look of disdain, Camarilla. But I have never lied to my students, and that is important. I have never lied to them. A certain degree of trust is needed, unfortunately. And the funny thing about trust, it can create great works. It can also destroy you.
That it can. We begin at the old Coterie Haven. What is now the meeting place. You individually arrive together and have tasks that each of you would like to do. I would like each of you to roll rouse checks for me, please. Thankfully, Urian, your beast is far more quiet than it was. Ember, you're not so lucky. Stomach twinges a little bit. So, it seems that M is not present for the moment. Maybe she's in her room, maybe she's doing something else to gather her thoughts, her belongings, her needs. But for now, it's just the three of you. What do you wish to do?
We good?
I can hear you, Clint,
I
but
wasn't hearing anyone for a moment.
There we
Yeah.
go.
there we go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, now we can hear.
Technical difficulties.
Just the three of us. Yes. That's where you left off.
Yes, just the three of you. What do you wish to do?
I'm beginning to get. Oh boy. Maybe getting something eat might not be a bad idea for me right now.
Might not be a bad idea at all.
Yes. I was gonna go do some stocking up, but food takes priority at the moment.
I have a question.
Yes, Benji.
Generally speaking, Benji would have given Emmanuel direct orders to stay at the Coterie house.
Okay.
If he needed anything, he'd just have to walk down to town and pick up at the closest convenience store. But regarding that, I just wanted to double check if both Emmanuel and Carlos are at the Coterie house as well, or if it's just us alone tonight.
High or low?
Let's go high. Ah,
Seems that Emmanuel didn't show up.
well, Benji has his number. He also has Carlos's, so
Carlos has been meandering around town, doing much the same that you guys have been doing to try and nail down what he said that he could possibly provide as far as additional security for this place or the new place or what have you. Just hasn't arrived yet today.
well. The night is young. Benji doesn't see them in a couple hours, then at that point he'll shoot him a text. He sits in the lobby area of the Coterie Haven.
The front room with the couches.
Yeah. He just kind of. I want to say he has like a bouncy ball for whatever reason. He's just kind of bouncing it on the floor beneath him as he sits on the couch.
Everybody has their ways of dealing with stress.
Urian, since his encounter when they last left off, I hesitate to use the word confession, but for lack of a better term, has been trying to keep a distance from Benji. He understands that Benji's core, at his center, is a deep hatred for all things Camarilla. And this realization that Urian was once a member of such a pristine establishment doesn't help his demeanor well, he presumes. And with Amber, well, let us simply end up saying that he's kept a watchful eye only at the distance. He's preparing a bag, as he usually does when he is about to go out. Perhaps another feeding ritual, or perhaps something more. The truth is that he is needing a way to get out to invest in the night. And these two have not said anything about their need for aid. So, unless directed otherwise, he is going to presume that they are fine. Or perhaps they simply need distance from him and Camarilla blood.
Amber. Amber just feels, at the moment, restless. She's, when she's at the meeting place, she'll be pacing back and forth as Urian prepares and Benji plays with his ball. And after a couple of moments of silence, Amber's just gonna be like, is anyone else hungry? Because I think it's a good idea that I get something to eat. If I get any hungrier, that's when bad things happen.
I could use. Yeah. Benji stands up, grabs the balls. He does so with one quick, hard last bounce, puts it in his jacket pocket. Really cool. Hey, I'll be checking in with the boys here later tonight, but I wanted to see what you were thinking, Amber. If there's anything I can help you with tonight.
Well, I was looking at seeing if I could get into contact with someone who might be able to provide us a little bit of, I suppose, firepower is the right word.
All right.
Actually, no, that is the right word. Because, I mean, I have, it's like I've got something along those lines, but, I don't think that's going to be enough.
What kinds of people you know in the underground? Out of curiosity.
Well, I mean, I have some sway in the modeling world. People who I can ask, see if they've got underground contacts. I myself have kind of kept my hands out of the underworld. Gotta maintain an image and whatnot, you know?
I hear you.
Which is also exactly why we should go and get something to eat, because the last thing I want is to get any hungrier.
It's true.
I've been here before. It's the precipice, and then I how do I explain it? Benji,
Hmm.
when I get particularly hungry, I begin bleeding everywhere.
Well, okay. He shuffles around and you can see he ponders it really hard. Looks at you, Amber, with this confusion, and he just points down at the floor. Like,
Emma just bursts into laughter, She's like, no, Benji, no,
oh,
not
oh,
like that, not from there.
shit, I'm so sorry. Wait. uh,
She points to her head first, and then to the wrist of her left hand. It's just like, from my head and wrists.
Huh.
That is concerning.
Yeah. What, like,
I
does
think I remember there being a name for the condition, but I forget.
are
It
you
is
like
referred to as stigmata.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yes.
what, like Jesus or some shit?
It is a condition that has been long before the birth of any savior.
Oh. Huh.
Some consider it a special curse of a line. I would not be shocked to end up finding Emperor's sire or grandsire carrying the same condition. Nevertheless, do you understand what that means, Benji?
Kind of hard to run around town when you look like you just got out of a fight.
More importantly, she starts bleeding, you start smelling it, you start seeing it, and then you start tearing her to pieces.
Oh, this is something you know from experience?
He grabs his bag and starts walking towards the door.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well then, Amber. I'll be your muscle.
Thank you, it's appreciated. And with that, she's going to gather her things so that they can go out for a night in the town and get something nice to munch on.
At this point, wait, whose car are we taking?
Well, I would presume it would be the van, as in case something goes wrong, at least we have the tools on hand to fix it.
That's good. That's a good plan.
Benji, part of existing for as long as you will is planning for the worst. My suggestion is that you all carry a hacksaw, some garbage bags, a lot of bleach, and, well, make sure that you have a second compartment in the trunk, probably where you would normally keep a spare tire.
I mean, I stocked up with crowbars and chains and, yeah, quite a large amount of bleach.
Yes, but your hair care products is not the reason we are discussing this. And whatever fetishes you bring to the club is entirely of your own making.
Amber just chuckles a little bit. It's just like, you know, Mr. Doyle, you're not wrong.
At least end up doing something like what Benji has done. At least when Benji gets blood in his hair, no one notices.
Except me. Shit's hard to pull out.
Only if it gets messy. Now, Amber, you wish to end up going to the club again tonight, yes?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Very well. With that being said, I checked the van. I am looking as well around with Sense the Unseen. Specifically to see if we are being followed or if I have another interloper.
You look around the van as you do every night. It's become sort of a ritual. Still nothing. No one's around. Nothing is attached to the car. The tires are not slashed. The brakes are not cut. There's no tracking device of any nature.
Good. I double check my tools to make sure everything is ready in case Amber loses her shit. God, now I'm starting to speak like one of them. And I end up getting in the van and take them out. Amber can work the club scene better than the rest of us, so that should be no issue. Benji, on the other hand, well, I suppose I'm going to have to start shit.
Alright. So you make your way through the streets and head to the nearest club in your domain. You could either go to that shitty dive you went to the other week, or you could go someplace else.
No. I'm looking for something more upscale.
Upscale. Okay.
I am. It specifically makes it easier on Amber. I understand her clan well enough to know what it is that she needs. And if she is going to apply herself, she needs no hindrances whatsoever. I myself, well, it's just as well that I am looking for any strays or anyone who is perhaps indulging themselves without my permission.
So you make your way to one of the more upscale places in your domain. It's not terribly ritzy, but it's not terrible either. And perhaps that's the right kind of crowd for tonight, especially if you're looking for interlopers. You are there in front of the establishment. There's a little bit of a line forming. Nothing terribly long, not a long wait at all. There's some people.
Well, Amber, I believe this is your scene.
Yes, quite. So, I think it's time to go up and have a look, see it. Go up and have a look, see at the kinds of people that are in line. And I think also get in there so that I can get into the club proper and have a look around on the inside as well.
Okay. Are either of the two boys accompanying her? You all going in, or is it just her?
Benji puts on his bouncer or bodyguard persona, follows her neatly and casually.
Urian is keeping an eye out. He's sure to check the alleys and the common places where one would hunt. After all, it's not like a quick nibble and let go. You need time to do it proper. To keep it hidden.
Very true.
Privacy. So I am making sure to look in such places. I have a doubt that I'll find anything. My luck has never been that good. But perhaps I am also going to be entering the club once we get in line. Perhaps I'll find something inside, or maybe a familiar face. I am curious if Carlotta is here. It seems like her kind of digs once she's gone out from the movies, and I haven't seen her in so long, though I do check in. Who knows, perhaps I scared her off.
Who knows, perhaps. So, Amber, how do you plan on doing this? Do you plan on using your usual feeding methods? Do you just want to attract someone? See if you can get them alone somewhere?
Yeah, that's the idea. Get them alone somewhere. Have a little fun. Although tonight, Amber has a little bit of a preference.
Mm,
She's looking for a particular kind of person.
okay.
She's looking for a cute girl that she might be able to sink her fingers into.
Hmm. So, if you're looking for a girl specifically, that is going to shoot the difficulty up by one, but you can make a manipulation plus subterfuge for your feeding roll.
Yes.
So it starts at difficulty 3. Being picky shoots it up to 4.
Yeah, I'm not feigning any innocence right now, so that'll be no modifiers. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be I think I might spend our willpower to re-roll those 2 normal dice.
All right.
Wow, really? Alright.
Mm. Seems like the
It's one of
ladies are
those
being a little
nights.
bit tricky today. They're. It doesn't seem like anyone who would like to be attracted by another woman is really biting right now. All
That's
the puns
fine, I'm gonna
intended.
have... That's fine. We'll have to, ditch the preference for the time being and just look for anyone then.
Okay.
I mean,
Benji, what are you doing in the hour or so that Amber's been prowling around?
Benji isn't too terribly hungry this evening. I mean, he is, and he's used to being hungry, I guess is kind of the point. I guess what he's after tonight is he's going to listen in to the surrounding area.
Hmm.
He's going to see if he can get any sort of rumors going around.
As in spreading rumors or collecting rumors?
Kind of collecting them at the moment.
Okay.
He's looking for, as funny as it sounds, cryptids.
Cryptids. Okay. If you're looking for that specifically, then, and this is kind of a loud and thumping place, so it is going to be a little bit tricky to even gather rumors here.
Yeah.
Then I would like a wits or charisma plus streetwise.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me see what's higher. Bum, bum, bum. It's the same.
You kind of, the music's kind of loud. It's kind of not your scene as far as the music's preference and the style in which it's uh, kind of presenting itself. It's a little bit distracting when you start to talk to some people. And upon the mention of things like cryptids, like urban myths and things of that sort, people are a little bit hesitant. There's not really anything really famous that happens in San Antonio as far as that goes.
All right. Well, next thing he can think of is what is the drug scene around here?
Mm. You see lots of people with drinks. I would
Drinks
say,
don't count.
yeah, I would say that's a manipulation streetwise at that point. You're
All
trying to
right.
be subversive about it because, illegal stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's mostly what he's trying to find is different locations. He has one, but he wants to see how far stretched these could be, if they're connected.
Mm. Like, are you looking for a dealer specifically, or are you looking for a crack house?
What Benji is looking for is consistency.
Mm.
Who's spoken to who? Kind of an ordeal. If he can find someone who might be connected to Emmanuel.
Mm.
So we'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, you start throwing the name Emmanuel de la Garza around, and nobody really seems to know what you're talking about.
Oh, well, bums.
Seems like Delgado's domain, or at the very least, the sanctuary, is not a place that name is well known.
Hmm. Benji did his job, I guess. Keep the streets clean.
Urian, how are you going about things?
Until otherwise flagged over, I will assist, or I will continue my own hunt.
Hmm.
I am unsure if we are the only kindred in here. The truth is that these two are still reliant on a lot of things. And I think that they've divorced themselves from the thrill. I kind of watch them. But for myself, I am looking for something, well, check the bathrooms that I can. Checking the darker places in the club. Keep an eye on those who might look like they're having a little bit of fun. Or maybe that loner who hasn't touched their drink in an hour. Looking for the signs. If you come here because you're hungry, unless you've done this regularly, you probably aren't willing to end up putting the time into blushing your health. That's certainly the case with Benji and Ember, at least. And I can't afford to do so, so I can't use social interactions without a risk of some sort. So, I keep distanced for now. Watching, waiting, analyzing. Trying to find that prey that eludes me.
In that case, if you're looking for the signs without any real supernatural means of of detecting someone who's kindred, then I know that it would be a very hard role to spot in this kind of lighting. So make me a resolve plus awareness.
Very well. Would investigation also work?
Investigation implies that you are digging up close.
Ah, that's fair.
You're kind of trying to observe from a distance.
It's about as good as it'll ever get.
You you kind of peruse around the my cat is meowing like a motherfucker. What are you up to? Sorry, I'm getting way distracted. Um you look around the bar, kind of walking your way through. You think for a moment that you may have spotted someone. They haven't really touched their drink. They're pretty pale in comparison. You're not entirely sure if this means that they're of kindred or not, but it's certainly the first clue you've had in a long time to finding your own prey.
I'll keep an eye on them. I'm not going to do anything here just yet, but I want to end up observing them. Are they looking at the kine? Yeah, I'm giving it more time to brew. Give me a sure sign. I
They're
am giving them the benefit of the doubt. But the moment that it looks like they are still trying to feed on my domain, well, then there's an issue. Or I would not recognize the face, you say.
Doesn't seem like you recognize the face just yet. Might be
Then
somebody new.
I will wait.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pause because I need to take care of something. My cat just fucking did something. I will be right back, everyone. Sorry about that, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. So, the Coterie was looking through the the establishment where they are in the city. It's a kind of an upscale bar, uh, and so they're each looking for possibly a tasty morsel. Amber was having a little less luck with uh, finding a lady specifically who was willing to bite. But and it was looking as if Urian may have spotted someone who was ignoring their drink. So, who would like to pick up from there? I was kind of in the middle of things with Urian, I guess. So,
No, I said that I would be watching them, seeing, looking for more evidence, seeing if they find a individual who is to their taste.
let's see if Amber's successful at all.
No,
Yes.
to see the. Oh, okay, we're moving to Amber. Okay,
Whoop. Sorry.
okay.
Wait, what are we doing?
I got a tiny bit flustered. So, you were looking at the person at the bar who was ignoring their drink to see if they were eyeballing other people.
Yes.
Okay. You watch them for a few moments. Occasionally, their eyes do dart around the establishment. They kind of look like they're maybe focusing on the barkeep, striking up conversation now and again as they pass by.
Hmm. Well, that is funny. Um. Yeah. Hmm. Well,
Looks like a gentleman
hate
in a
to.
nice shirt. If you were
I
to,
would hate. I would hate to end up interrupting a nice evening. There's a very quick way for me to find out, but I'd rather not risk it just yet. I will wait for now. Um, but I do, on occasion, just quick glance at the Emperor and Benji. Want to make sure they're doing well as well.
so Amber, you continue to peruse a little bit. Maybe people are being a little less forthcoming. Maybe they're being a little less easily swayed than normal. You're usually pretty good about picking some people out and pulling them aside, but it seems like more people are interested in the music right now. In fact, one girl in particular seems to be having a really fun time dancing on the floor.
Hmm. Well, you know what they say. When your steak isn't cooking fast enough, you turn up the heat.
Mm.
Amber is going to go onto the dance floor. And she's going to attempt to get amongst it to draw this lady's attention.
Mm. You start moving back and forth, swaying, dancing, letting that beauty that you radiate do the talking for you. You do catch her eye. You find that her eyes catch you a couple of times, actually.
Hmm. Right. But no, I think I might attempt to get her interest. She's interested in it. She's interested in the music, and the music is all well and good, but I'm better than some notes on some bars, if you know what I mean.
Benji, you've been kind of watching as Amber has been prowling around. What are your thoughts in this regard?
Out of the crowd, does Benji also see this girl?
Your eyes have been following Amber a little bit. You do see that this friend of yours is on the dance floor. And it
Oh,
looks like Amber's got her eyes on her.
oh no. Oh no, no, no. Benji, visibly anxious, decides to make his way through the crowd as well.
Making your way towards Amber.
Mm-hmm. For reference, you said the crowd was pretty focused on the music.
Mhm.
Is there kind of like this dance pit going on here? What is the music like pumping like dubstep? People are moshing kind of situation or
Not really moshing. It's full, but not crowded. And it seems like there's a particular local DJ who's on the table right now. Somebody you've probably never heard of, but it's definitely pretty hype. It's loud and definitely got those who can sweat starting to sweat.
hmm. Benji's got only one idea. Change the scene really quick without it being too suspicious. Um, the first thing he does is, as he's walking through the crowd, he shoots Carmen a text really fast.
Okay. And what does that text read?
Can you meet me at La Medianoche?
You watch to see if Carmen responds to check her phone. Doesn't seem like she does.
Right.
She's very engrossed.
Too distracted. Next best thing he does, goes up to the DJ. Is there like a request list for music, or is this guy mixing his own stuff?
Seems he's mixing his own stuff.
Benji tries to get his attention, anyways.
The DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you wave him down a little bit, and he doesn't respond to you right away. But as soon as he feels that he can let it sit for a second, he leans his ear towards you. What do you want?
You think I could put something on that'll get people like headbanging and stuff?
It's kind of what we got going on, buddy.
A little more energy.
All right. I don't know how much more energy you want. And he goes back to the table.
All right.
He does
Once
start
the
to
music,
improv things a little bit, and then the music starts to get a little hype, and it's a slight improvement.
slight improvement. All right. What Benji's gonna do is he's going to start hyping the crowd with the music. He's gonna start pushing for moshing.
Okay. Make me a manipulation plus performance.
Hmm. Is stage presence a skill I can use in this?
Yes, it is.
Fuck yeah.
Your stage presence is about selling it, after all.
And I'm gonna use willpower.
All right.
How many dice did I have in that?
You can re-roll up to 3. Looks like you have 3 that you can roll.
Phew.
Okay. 4 successes. So you get the crowd pumped. Whatever this guy's got going on the table, nothing compares to how much you're putting into this as far as like getting it hype about the DJ. And people
Got
start
people.
thrashing about a little bit and get more hype and start kind of pseudo flailing, but they're not really flailing at all. They're just kind of doing that jump thing that people do at clubs.
All right.
Start jumping around, not really into each other, but just jumping.
Just like head banging, you got hands up in the air.
Yeah. People are pretty hype right now.
The rave wave. And as this happens, Benji is going to move, direct himself to the back of the crowd, and start pushing some of the people in the back forward so that both Amber and Carmen get lost.
Okay, so you're trying to maneuver people between them?
Just sheep herd everyone, yeah.
Okay. People do see that you're a bit of an imposing presence, don't really want to be in your way, so they start moving as you direct.
Fantastic.
There are some people who do start to get between Carmen and Amber. Amber, what are you doing now that people are kind of funneling between you and this little miss?
I'm gonna be looking around, like, who, what's got the crowd so agitated? Having a look, would Benji standing above most of the people in the crowd?
I don't know. Benji, how tall are you?
He's 6'2", but people keep about a foot distance from him, so he looks taller.
Yeah,
Practice social distancing.
your average person is probably anywhere between 5'6" and 5'9". He kind of stands a little taller. That red hair is a little hard to miss.
Would I be able to see the gap between him and everyone else? Like the fact that the people are keeping their distance?
They're not really keeping a terrible distance, but he's kind of moving forward, and they're moving forward with him to keep from touching him. Not a terribly far distance, not like 3 or 4 feet, but like a foot, maybe. He's invading personal bubbles.
Yeah. Is there any chance that I might be able to figure out what it is that he's the cause of this the crowd being riled up?
I would say that's a wit's insight.
Hmm.
Hmm. They might just be.
Might have just.
Benji, are you on purpose trying to keep Amber from finding out?
No, in fact, I'd almost argue when Benji catches Amber staring at him, he just shoots this look like, no,
Then you read
smiling.
that plainly on Benji's face through that fake smile.
Amber doesn't say anything. She doesn't give off any indication of her thoughts as she looks away. But in her mind, it's just this thought of that cock blocking motherfucker. She and I are going to have a talk later. Am I still able to see Carmen?
She seems to be drifting away a little bit as people start to funnel between you two.
Yep. I'm gonna attempt to move up quickly. Move up quickly so that she's able to hear me under the din of the music and the crowd. She's gonna be like, seems like it's getting a little bit rowdy in here. Do you maybe want to go somewhere a little quieter? Have a chat. And she smiles sweetly.
And Carmen looks at you, smiles, and says, "Yeah, I could use a drink."
Shall we then?
And it's kind of hard now that people are in the way a little bit more, but you are able to head towards the bar. Benji, what do you do?
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. I can't let the seductress get her fangs sucked into Carmen. Anything but that. All right, think, Benji, think. Well, if indirect isn't gonna work.
Anybody else smell burnt toast?
Oh. Well, big and imposing is my game. Let's do that. Benji follows after Carmen and Amber.
Okay.
His plan is to intervene mid-conversation.
Okay. Seems like the two of them are heading towards a somewhat quieter corner after ordering Carmen a drink. And so you're intending to follow them?
Yep.
Urian, what are you doing? Have you seen Benji and Amber on the dance floor at this point, or are you still perusing?
I might have caught them on the way there, keeping, just check they're still there or not. I'm not concerned either way. I am concerned primarily on this individual who is directly in front of me. No idea about this wonderful bit of melodrama that is happening outside of Urian's purview.
High or low?
I will always go high. And I will always be punished for it.
After a little bit of observing, this person finally does take a sip of their drink.
I am disappointed. But it's better than making a mistake. At that point, Hmm. And their skin tone didn't change, right?
No,
When they did so? No.
still pale, still in a nice suit. They seem to be here more for the drinks or for the conversation with the barkeep than they are for the music.
Hmm. Well, it's at this point I end up ordering a Coke, and I make it clear that I'm the designated driver.
Mm.
And I will sit next to this individual.
The Coca-Cola is overpriced, and you sit next to this individual. They kind of look over to you, just kind of give you a little bit of a acknowledging nod.
He raises his glass. And cheers to you, friend.
Cheers.
Yeah. And here's where the risk kicks in. I'm going to use Blush of Life.
All right, roll arouse for
You
that blush
said
of life.
you said it's fairly dim in here, so.
It is.
Oh my god. Oh, pushing it, pushing it.
Pushing it. That little voice in your head isn't any louder.
Yeah. And I tap the glasses and take a sip. Placing. He kind of just leans over and looks at the dance floor for a moment. You know, it's always the worst when you're the odd man out in these situations.
Odd man out. You got designated driver.
Yep.
That sucks.
Everybody else is allowed to get wasted. Everybody else is going home with a or looking for somebody, and anybody who strikes out, I gotta take them home and hear them bitch and whine about it. But at least I got pleasant company at the bar. Now, you've described the bar, or you haven't described the bartender. You just said the bartender, right?
Yeah, the bartender is a fairly nondescript individual. They're wearing a t-shirt that has the bar's logo on it. They're serving drinks, going back and forth, just doing their job.
Mm. Or they're cute.
He looks over to you. What?
Bartender.
You think they're cute?
Am I? Did I misspeak?
Well, I guess not. It seems like a random statement, but alright.
I have a tendency to think out loud.
Uh,
It's I find it helps, really. Lets you kind of ends up making it a little easier. Especially when you're, again, odd man out.
uh.
Why, you know them?
I come here occasionally. We talk a little bit when they don't when they don't have customers to serve for a minute, but like otherwise it's not a real acquaintance. Question mark.
You seem embarrassed by that statement.
I've never had somebody ask me that before. You're weird.
Everybody's weird. It's a club. I think that almost goes without saying. If you're normal, then, well, then you might not be in the club now, would you?
You're not wrong. I'm David.
Oh. Ah. David. Okay. He kind takes a minute to do that. Josh. He extends a hand.
Nice to meet you, Josh. And he takes your hand.
And is his hand cold?
No.
Yeah. No. I've gone by about... I'm not sure on how long they're going to be. It depends, I guess, on the everyone's game. Oh well.
Funny
I don't
accent.
know.
Where are you from?
Well, honestly, I'm starting to forget that. I military brat. Bounced from country to country, ended up spending a significant time in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, fair enough.
Father came back to the home base, and, well, it was at that point. Mom ended up fucking off. Dad fucked off. And I suppose 13 years old is good enough to be a grown man at this point.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah, do not sympathize with me. It is a statement of fact. Besides, many young men start that way. All too commonly, I think. Huh, well, if you don't mind me prying, David, you came here for the drink and to end up speaking with the bartender. That sounds... Well, are you the designated driver, or are you planning on driving home when you're having the bag?
Eh, half in the bag is kind of an overstatement.
Uh, I've never met somebody who ends up coming to the bar to end up having a few drinks. Just to chill with the bartender.
I
Kieran
like the
takes a
music.
moment to double check that he used that term correctly.
I like the music. I can't dance. And I didn't come with anyone, so...
You know, I'm of mixed mind, to be honest with you, David. There's a part of me that understands you in that regard. But then there's also that part of me that realizes I'm the only one sober here, and I would be remiss if I wasn't playing wingman.
Aha.
Yeah. Oh. Uh, Besides, I don't know if you know this, but we have a celebrity in the audience.
Really? Who?
He kind of gestures over to Amber.
Oh, hey.
And I'm her driver.
Oh.
So when I say wingman, I wasn't saying yours.
Right, right. Gotcha.
But that could be.
No, you're busy. I mean, fuck. That's that. It's that
That would be
worst.
the end. That would be the end idea, I imagine.
Right.
He raises his glass to cheer him again.
And he goes to clink glasses.
Well, I would. I figured I'd end up leaving that as a thought, but I'm not here to end up pressuring. I end up losing out in either way.
I've seen her Instagram. She's amazing. How in the fuck did you swing that?
I sold my soul to the devil.
Right. All right.
How else would you do it?
I suppose so. Man, you lucky son of a gun.
Well, it was only a soul.
I don't know that I. That's a whole nother conversation I really don't want to have.
Ah, I tease. That's what I do. But, David,
Mm.
you take an interest. Why not approach her? You
She's. Have you not seen her content?
very much so.
Then you know she's got like 1 million followers at this point.
Yes, and they're not here.
You'd really set me up with that?
Hmm?
Look, we just met, all right? Come on. Don't be
You think
pulling
I
a like.
came here by chance?
Uh,
But if you're not interested,
no, no.
he
I
starts standing up,
he starts to follow you.
and they just start walking him right over to Amber.
So let's come back to Benji and Amber. Benji, you're following Amber because she's luring Carmen over to another corner, and you're headed in that direction. What is your intent?
Benji, at first, his idea was to interject pretty directly, but then he thought about it. It's like, no, that would fuck up the situation. Carmen, too much. God. He stops. He thinks about it. He thinks about where a more quiet or isolated space would be. Um, Instead, he speed walks to the alley,
Okay.
flips open his phone,
Mm-hmm.
and he practices really quick outside. Panicked breathing.
Panicked breathing. Okay.
Okay. Oh, it kind of hurts. Oh my god. All right. Ugh. And he calls up Dave.
Calls up Dave.
Yep.
And so Dave answers the phone.
He starts panting. He's just really playing it up like, oh, fuck. Dave, have you gotten a hold of Carmen at all tonight? Have you heard from her in a while? I'm just,
She's not in tonight. She's off. Are you okay?
oh, no, I was out at a club and there was just this guy in the fucking alley and he just opened me up. I really need help. You know I can't go to the hospital. I can't afford that shit.
No,
Can
yeah,
you just
yeah.
could you call Carmen, tell her it's an emergency? I'll be there shortly. Fuck. It's just blood. Motherfucker had a knife. I just wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give her a call, like, right now.
Thanks. I just can't fucking get a hold of her. I know she sometimes ignores me. Please be quick.
And he hangs up the phone.
Benji closes his flip phone and he walks. He doesn't necessarily walk inside, but he looks inside from the back door and just kind of like sneaks a peek to see if Carmen gets the call or not.
Okay. So, Amber, you're walking towards this corner, and it seems that Carmen is following behind you. Is there any kind of conversation you want to strike up with her before she potentially gets a call?
Yeah, we'll talk about the music. That's we'll talk about the music.
Okay. So you talk a little bit about the music. After about a minute into the conversation, she finally, at this point, can hear her phone go off. Seems that it was too loud on the dance floor for her to catch it before. She looks at her phone, realizes that Dave is calling her, and realizes she has a missed text. And she says, "I'm sorry, I've got to take this."
By all means.
And she excuses herself a little bit away and answers the phone. It's about that point you see that Urian has someone following behind him in your direction.
Amber would turn to Yuri and the guy following behind him. Sorry, and like her mind is still on Carmen a little bit, but not so much. She'll see how what's currently walking towards her goes before she decides to try and get back on that trail.
Good evening, Amber. I'd like you to meet somebody. Yeah.
And you see before you a man in a nice suit, button-down shirt, and a little older, maybe 35.
The older isn't bad.
Yeah. This here individual's name is David. I may or may not have expressed that you were in the club, and when it came to approach, apparently he's a bit of a fan, and his nerves were stopping him from coming to see you. So I told him that I would make the introduction for him because, after all, your celebrity status does end up making it a little bit difficult for some people to approach, especially those meek such as myself. So I had a moment to. I thought you would enjoy each other, and clearly, as you can see, he is a gentleman of refined taste.
And David just kind of smiles and gives a soft chuckle, nervous, and waves a little bit. Hi. Uh,
Oh, please do sit. Hey, David, is there something you're drinking?
uh, whiskey and coke?
Whiskey and Coke and Amber had strawberry daiquiri extra red, right? I'll get
Oh
that.
yeah.
And Urine goes off to get a couple of drinks.
Amber, what do you do? It seems that Carmen's disappeared.
Internally, it's like, oh well, that's a shame. But when the powers that be close a door, they open a window. She kind of turns to David with a sweet smile and will begin talking to him about her work and just generally getting him comfortable with being in her presence.
Okay. Do you eventually intend to pull him away someplace private where you can feed on him?
Yeah, after Urian brings back the drinks, Amber's gonna nurse hers for a little bit. Um, Amber's gonna nurse hers a little bit while he drinks his, and after his is done, Amber's like, you know, I'm feeling a little excitable. Why don't you and me get out of here?
And you see that this person's face goes bright red. But he doesn't refuse. He will follow you anywhere. He's a
Which
fan, after all.
That he is. And she she she's like, come with me then. And the drink, well, the drink will stay where it is. She was looking forward to it, but like at least that's what she's giving off. That she was looking forward to it, but then felt that she wanted to drink something else.
Mm. And so you whisk David away.
Yes.
How much do you feed off of him?
I'm going to take 2,
Okay.
and I'm gonna lingering kiss
Ooh.
this guy.
Well, how about that? David is enamored by your conversation. He is enamored by you. Cannot take his eyes off you. And when you feed on him and you give him that lingering kiss, that potent bite that you wield, it's as if he's putty in your hand.
As he should be.
Benji, what are you doing now that you have seen that Carmen seems to have disappeared either back into the crowd or out of the bar entirely?
Benji has a pretty fair idea. David probably called her back to La Medianoche to meet him there so he can get stitched up. That's what they're expecting. Oh, God. It would suck to just bail on them. They'd be worried sick. He's got to at least see this one through. Granted, it'll make him look more human. How far is it in walking distance to La Medianoche?
Walking distance?
Hmm.
I actually have a map for that. Maybe an hour? Maybe 2?
That'll work. Benji decides he's just gonna head that way since he was dumb and didn't bring his own car.
And so you make your way out and
Hmm.
head down the streets in the middle of the night towards La Medianoche.
As he does so, eventually, once he gets approximately a block or so away, he pulls out his switchblade. Ah, fuck. There are 2 things he needs to do. He's going to be in close contact, and he's got to look hurt. So, he rouses and decides to blush of life and stabs himself in the ribs.
All right.
At this point, all he can really say is anything
Mm.
to protect them.
You rouse the blood to get your unbeating heart to give off some semblance of a pulse, your vitae moving through your body, and give it a little bit of motion when you do go to stab yourself in the ribs. It's the most awkward experience that you've probably ever experienced because you get the angle just right that you look like you've punctured your lung.
Oh. He's hoping that was not the case. I was thinking like just below the ribs, but you know.
hmm. Well, actually, make me a medicine roll plus wits. Let's see if you aim correctly. Let's find out. Okay.
Just barely. He's like, I've been stabbed in the ribs before. It's fine. I know how this looks.
You maybe have that one scar that you had forgotten about for a little bit when from back when you were alive. You're like, oh, I'll just
Yeah,
do
that one
that
from
one
high school.
again.
I was fighting off Bobby's drug dealers at one time. Oh
Mm.
well. You know, it felt a lot like this too. Except also not quite. Do I take any damage from that? Mechanically speaking?
Uh, well, 1 point is superficial.
It's just a
You were
single
being
slash.
pretty calculated about it. You're doing it on purpose,
Mm.
and and it does bleed a little bit now that you've gotten your vitate coursing a little bit.
Now to play it up. Benji starts kind of limping as if his side is hurting.
Mm.
Goes up to La Medianoche, holding the wound. Comes up to Dave. Hey man, how's it going?
You motherfucker. And he just ushers you in, and we're gonna cut back to Urian for a moment because it's been about an hour or two for Benji. Urian, you have delivered David, into the waiting jaws of Amber, that beautiful, beautiful piranha. What do you do next?
I am disappointed. But no sense squandering an opportunity. Every moment has its opportunities. I wish I could just sit and enjoy the music. But it is not to my taste. I'm instead concerned. I'm stepping out, allowing Ember to have her fun, leaving a Jack and Coke along with the strawberry daiquiri extra red. And I place it on the table to await their return. I will not be there though. I am heading out. I walk fairly calmly, but I'm just observing. When you're a predator, one of the more efficient ways to go about it is to wait for people to start leaving. Now the people started leaving. There was a woman that was with Amber, and I haven't seen Benji, so I have to assume something happened. Perhaps he's off. Perhaps he's off in the back alley feeding. Who knows? I do, however, know that I still need to feed. So I am taking my time going about around back the club. Every so often I'll check on the van to see if Amber or Benji have returned. I'm looking for anyone who may be feeding upon the drunks that are coming in. I didn't see any inside that I did not bring myself, so... But I have to admit, I am starting to get a little perturbed. I thought I planned it out so well. Instead, I have. Well, I suppose there's no sense crying about it now. I pull out an old map. It's one of those vacation maps that you see, lets you see some of the sights of the Alamo City. And I'm just looking at the estates that are within our domain. Trying to figure out what would be an appropriate haven. Something that won't require much more work. Something that doesn't draw too many visitors. Something that is upscale for the benefit of the Coterie. Amber needs something a little bit more luxurious. Benji could benefit from experiencing more than gutters and brawls and fight clubs. A little bit of charm, maybe. M requires space, so I need to start looking for something larger. It is surprisingly easy to end up getting a new haven. That is not the hard part. The hard part is not being tracked to it. I find it weird, actually, doing all this on my own. But someone has to look out for them. Now that my secret is out, the sacrifices they have to make on my behalf, I best prove that this is worth it.
It's about that moment that you hear footsteps coming behind you.
I turn to face them. Not all quickly, just turn.
And a familiar face.
Ah. Oh, now there is someone I am so glad to see again. I hope you are well, Alfonso.
Yeah, I've been doing good. I was just checking this place out.
Are you looking to grab a bite?
Not tonight. I'm actually more surprised to see you here.
No, why would that be?
Well,
It is part of my domain, is it not?
I don't know.
My turf.
It seemed a little out of your style.
Yes, but that would bring such individuals here. And so it would be very much in appropriation for me to keep an eye on such places. So what does bring you here, Alfonso? You said checking it out. Surely there is a draw.
Yeah, it seems alright. I remember you telling me at one point that you kind of wanted me scoping out the place.
Certainly. Then, Alfonso, I permit you to take your fill when it doth please you.
Cool. Cool. Cool, cool.
So what is the word on the street? He kind of gestures for Alfonso to walk with him. He's going a roundabout route just to give him time to speak.
Well, I've been kind of trying to keep my eyes out for, like, kind of different people like me. They're so hard to spot.
Oh, I know. I know.
Because that's what you wanted me to do, right?
Yes, of course. You are one of my many eyes and ears to this location.
Where's M?
M is... Oh, dear beautiful M. She is, unfortunately, predisposed. You know how she gets her headaches.
Right. Who's been doing better?
And you're acclimatizing to this existence.
Yeah. Been doing a lot of research with Clovis, actually.
Clovis?
Yeah. He's got me working on some. You know, I'm like, I was going to college. Kind of doing some medical stuff lately.
Go on.
Well, just like nurse tech stuff.
Uh, Becoming a healer. An honorable trade. One that is deserving of the highest respect.
He seems pretty cool. I mean,
What?
for a weirdo, but
I'm weird.
you're a weirdo too.
Everybody tells me that. So how would I act more natural? How would I not weird people out?
Well, I don't know. It's been a couple of weeks, so I don't know how these things work.
To be fair, you think it's worse now. Wait, give yourself a couple decades. Then you really start falling out of touch.
Oh God. Am I just gonna start making dad jokes? Or some
No,
shit?
it'll be far worse.
Oh no.
No. If you wish, I can end up giving you an example and break into Shakespearean sonnet.
I mean, Shakespeare's not bad, but I don't have a.
I know. But back in my day, that would have been a proper expression of affection. Now it's seen as quaint.
It's hard to understand the verbiage.
Because language changes. When I speak, I am speaking with my preferred tongue. When you speak with your preferred tongue, but they are tongues of different times.
I guess so. That's what I've been working on, anyway. And then free time, just kind of perusing around.
And you haven't seen anything?
Well, I may have met
Well,
somebody.
and who have you met?
I, I, I don't really know what their real name is.
Describe them to me. Speak
Um,
their name. Maybe I do.
I think they're like me. I can't tell.
How so?
Well, they only come out at night, so that's a plus. I only ever see them at night, but that's because I'm only out at night.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to know a lot of shit, so maybe they've been at
What
this for a
sort of
while.
shit? What sort of shit?
Like kindred shit, like you would say.
Hmm. Very well. What is their name?
They go by the call sign Fox.
Fox. Would that ring a bell?
Make me.
Because I'm imagining if this has been an ongoing thing, then and he's sticking to my turf, then there's a high likelihood.
Yeah. Intelligence politics.
Okay. Do I add my specialty to it?
They are not Camarilla, no.
Okay. I'm willing to spend a willpower.
Okay.
5 successes.
You've heard that call sign before. You definitely know that they are thin blood. They haven't really made a name for themselves in the case of Baron Delgado's territory. You They lay low as much as they can possibly can. They tend to stay out of your domain. Have probably only met Alfonso recently because of the simple fact they're known to be a recluse.
Mm. They tend to get in a lot more trouble than they're worth.
They stay off the grid as much as they can.
Ah, okay. I understand. He looks to Alfonso. Hmm. That is a good trait. I would consider it no small favor for you if you were to bring Fox to me. I would love to have a discussion with this Fox.
They tend not to like to go out.
I understand this, but have you found them in this little bit of turf?
Closer to the hospital, actually.
But they have stepped foot in my bit of turf, have they not?
They
Yes or no?
Yes, they have. They've come once or twice.
Very well. Have you explained to them that if you were to approach on my turf, you are to come seek me out?
They don't want to.
They don't want to.
They don't want to stir the pot. They don't want to.
Then express to them that the lack thereof is in fact stirring the pot. But all will be forgiven if they come see me.
Okay.
I simply wish to take the measure of it, Alfonso, much as I wanted to understand you. You crossed the line, I enacted justice, but then I took the time to heal and mend, and try and end up assisting you and him.
Right. Yeah. I'll let them know. It's hard to get a hold of them sometimes, but I will let them know.
I will look forward to you bringing them to me. And that small gesture warms my heart, Alfonso.
I've been trying.
You have been doing more than trying. You have earned a place at my table. I do not forget these things.
What
Your blood.
exactly does that mean?
It means whenever I change this domain, whenever I have to enact my will upon it for the sake of Delgato, I consider how it would affect those whose lineage is so thin, such as yourself. I am giving a huge benefit of the doubt to you, and it paid off dividends. You are an ambassador of sorts in that regard. Because of that,
I don't know about that. I don't talk to people very well. Not nearly as well as
no,
some people. Not like you do.
no. But I would like to know this Fox. If they serve that task better, I think you two can become very fast friends. And in that, I can use a coterie of thin bloods in this small hovel.
What for?
The blood and what for? I need to know what's going on in my own streets. I cannot be everywhere. when I know who is feeding, who is disrupting, who is doing business here, when I understand it all. Then when something comes in and throws a spanner in the works, I am also the first to know. And because of that, it lets me know what is going on and how to end up enacting particular changes. So, for instance, I know something very dangerous may be coming, and I would rather you not be blindsided by it. And if foxes of caliber, then I would rather they not be blindsided by it either. As above, so below.
Dangerous, huh? I don't like the sound of that.
Try and imagine what I do now and turn that up to 11. Now try and make sure that it has the less pleasant demeanor than mine.
Wait, what?
I will.
Wait, this... What? This danger that you're talking about is like you cranked up to 11, but like mean?
Yes. Very much so. And that is what I would like to know to give proper warning and get people out of the way. It is something I will handle. My job is to protect this domain. And those I have accepted in it are afforded my protection. That includes you, Alfonso. And if someone were to cross that, if someone unknown came in and threatened you, well, let's simply leave it that it'll be highly unpleasant.
Good to know.
Because you are precious to me. One of the first thin bloods who had the courtesy, after hard times, of giving the benefit of the doubt, and I would like to believe you have become stronger for it.
Been learning a lot? Yeah.
Is there any new talents you have come to understand?
Well, aside from the medicine thing, I don't know. I've been tinkering with some shit.
When it bears fruit, I hope you will present it.
Still working on it. Kinda just testing the waters, as it were. Nothing in a complete phase, really.
But what can you share?
Well, well, it might have to do with cooking drugs and fiddling with things.
What sort of things?
Like blood.
Now, if I'm reading the situation correctly, he is talking about thin blood alchemy, is he not?
He is.
So if I... Alfonso, if that is the case, I have studied a small amount of it.
You have?
It's nothing I can practice, but it is something I know knowledge of. It's kind of how you may know how magic trick is done with a deck of cards, but you yourself may never know or have the dexterity to perform it. But you would know what you are looking at. It's much the same as me.
Okay. Is it like that same thing that you did to that one wolf guy?
That's a different thing. Along the same lines, think of your blood as a catalyst. It is something that merges elements of different types and becomes as a furnace and molds them and melds them into something new. Reduces it, purifies it, builds it up into something it once was not. You
Because I have been
go ahead.
cooking a little bit of something, and I figured something out that,
Oh,
yeah, kind of just creates a mist around me, and it's weird. But people seem to be obscured, or people seem to think that I'm not totally there.
they're more concerned about the sudden appearance of London fog,
Yeah.
unaware that it is you. I think that is a talent I would like to bring to bear.
I kind of thought maybe it was a little bit risky or something.
It can be in the wrong circumstances. But what if I were to tell you that if you thought about it and looked at long term, steam vents happen. Dryers and other such things, especially in colder weathers, produce a little bit of fog. If more of those were around, it wouldn't be out of the question to suddenly end up seeing it becoming more than it was. It would be an anomaly, certainly, but not a full-on masquerade breach. Somebody would simply assume it would be a vent that has exploded underground, coming out through the sewers, perhaps. It is dependent on your environment. Now that I am aware of this, that is something I can consider.
Cool.
This is our domain, Fonzo. And I am as dependent upon you in that regard as you are upon my knowledge. Seek me out when you hit a stumbling block, and we will learn it together.
Cool. Yeah.
That being said, Alfonso, we are nearing the bottom. You said that you are not in needing of feeding.
Not currently. I'm good.
Might I impose upon you?
That thing. Okay.
I ask only if you give freely. I have I do not take by force, lest it be as a punishment. I will go hungry if it leaves you comfortable.
I would feel more comfortable with just a little bit.
He
Like,
leans in like, what are you saying?
like if you don't take too much, cause if I go and if I'm gonna like play with this shit, then I'm probably gonna need it.
Then I have a solution. I will provide you a small amount of blood in exchange.
Okay.
Blood to you for your research and your kindness, and in turn you to me for the resources and expertise. A exchange, as it were.
But in the other direction, cause I am good right now.
Not one after I take from you,
Right. That's what I meant.
but I will take only a small amount. Seek me out when you require feeding.
Alright.
Is this amicable? Alfonso.
Yeah, that'll work. It's still really weird.
It feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's weird too.
A lot of this is weird. You are cooking drugs with your blood. It's. I think the common vernacular is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's weird. Everything's weird.
Join me this way.
And he follows you.
And I will take only one. I do not want him to be too hungry, and I will provide him with the information on how to gain access for a one-time feeding, blood for blood, on top of his hunting to the Coterie. The Coterie herd, which
Okay.
is phlegmatic, which might be important. So that's 1 dot spent.
Alright. Then you make those arrangements. And
Oh,
so,
he tastes so fine. You know, it may not be proper kindred, but Alfonso is a delicious morsel.
can we eat them all?
No. He is a treasured wine to be savored and aged.
But thin bloods.
You and I both know the Camarilla is coming. There, we have no excuses to hold back.
I look forward to those ones. Maybe I'll drink down Kyle. You think Fernando's still alive?
No, you'll be silent. I choose, not you. Or would you rather like me to start experimenting with fire once again? Alfonso,
Yes.
I have a gift for you. Come to the van.
Okay. And he follows you.
I am going to use a. I'm going to use a ward.
Award.
Yes. I am going to first take a small amount of my blood and start carving it onto the back of his jacket. And this is going to be weird, but this is part of that teaching. And I end up saying a reward for your misgivings. Yours is not the only one that requires blood. And that's a rouse check,
Yes, it is.
but it is
does
level
take.
1.
It
Oh!
also, for rituals, it does take an hour to cast.
Mm-hmm.
So are you taking him back to the Haven?
No, I'm taking him back into there because you got to remember, Amber's still got to finish feeding. Benji's still got to get back.
Right.
So I'm currently doing this whole ritual
You have time.
upon his back. But I'm also going through and explaining to him because I know his history with ghosts. And I want him to feel like he has a chance if he steps in the wrong place.
Okay.
So this is my gift to him.
Okay.
Spirits, can't touch them without aggravate. And if given that it's unlikely I'm going to be there when he needs it, you want me to roll it now?
Yes. Go ahead and roll me your ritual roll.
Okay.
And let us see the strength of the ward. Ooh. That's an 8 success ward.
Yeah. Well, it's only it's only one aggravated if they touch him. It
But
needs
you,
to be a crit.
yep. But you have drawn this circle in the most immaculate fashion that you could possibly draw.
It is my finest work to date.
And once the arcane words are spoken, the blood disappears into the jacket.
You, my friend, bear the mark of the devil. He If it wipes off the blood now that the seal has been made to clean up the jacket. Wear that constant. You could wash it, you can do whatever. The jacket must remain intact, but so long as you do, no spirit can touch you without repercussion. More protections may be afforded in time, but this is a gift bestowed on one who has shown loyalty.
That's kind of wicked.
Yes, I am. Praise Satan. Now,
Hail Satan.
now you're into it. So, Alfonso, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the feed. Please do be delicate with her. She has a show to put on the next Black Mass. But have some fun. The pleasures of blood, pleasures of flesh, well, there's no point in going halfway.
Fair enough.
Besides, you're thin blood. You may as well enjoy the warm caress while you can.
And he goes to make his exit from your presence. Going back into the night where he came from. Let's switch back over to Amber for a moment. You have taken Dave into your clutches. You have fed upon him. You have given him that lingering kiss. Do you return to the van? Or do you spend some time elsewhere?
Um, I'll give him a little bit of extra love and attention. Because I mean, I cherish my fans.
And he is 100% about it.
But after that, yes, I'll be heading back to the van.
After spending some time, you come back to the van, and Urian is there. Waiting for you, it seems.
I must thank you for the assist, Doyle. The ocean was being a little finicky tonight.
You have the blessings of grace, love, devotion, and beauty that is all encompassing. But let it never be said that age does not come with its own perks.
Of course.
Honestly, I think this is the youngest I've felt in quite some time. Yes, I can still feel it. It's a shared experience, so to speak. But I'm glad that your hunt has gone well.
My question to you, Mr. Doyle, is: have you fed yet? Because considering you helped me, I would be more than willing to help you in turn.
When the time comes. But unlike you, Ember, I have to pace myself, lest I make myself a slave, completely devoted to you in every way. It is a fine line that I walk.
Hmm. Also, have you seen Benji?
I have not.
Hmm.
He
Curious.
seems. I am assuming he is mauling some kind of bear in the woods right now.
Yes. He and I need to have a little discussion, that cock-blocking bastard.
Urian raises a brow like he's not 100% sure why anybody would wish to put their cock on a block, but
It's like,
he's like, alright, very well then.
it's like Amber kind of realizes the mistake that she made. And she's like, there was a girl before you came over with David. There was a girl who I was talking to,
Mm,
and
I've seen several.
Benji, in his infinite wisdom, decided to try and rile up the crowd to separate us.
Do you remember her face or name?
I didn't get her name, but she'll give a basic description of what Carmen looks like.
And you saw her on the dance floor,
Mm-hmm.
perusing
Yes.
around.
Yes. Very well. And what do you plan on doing with this? You're saying having to speak with him.
Oh, I'm just going to ask him why. I'm not exceptionally upset. I got fed either way. Thank you for that. But it's a little irritating when you're attempting to do something and someone just decides to interject. You know what I mean?
Yes, but usually they don't survive that interjection. I look forward to seeing how you react with Benji. I know where my money's going on.
It's like I'm not gonna hurt him or anything like that. I'm just going to ask him why. Trust me, if he wanted to hurt me, he would very easily be able to do that despite my more physical talents. And the last thing that I wish to do is have to pull out the stops.
I'm sure there's a witty joke about safe words in there, but unless I am not completely up to date with my own mannerisms. Perhaps you
Oh,
should give him a
yes.
phone call. See if he did something stupid and got stabbed.
That's a good idea now that got a chance to relax. And she is gonna call Benji.
Benji, you are just about inside La Medianoche when your phone goes off, and it is the number that you programmed for Amber.
Benji looks at it. He narrows his eyes and he just huffs, cancels the call. He looks over to Dave. Is Carmen here yet? Do you know?
Yeah. She's here.
Oh, thank God. All right. And Benji limps on down to the small room that's been spaced out for medical La Medianoche. It doesn't necessarily have supplies, but Carmen usually brings her own.
Okay, we'll jump over there really quick. You enter the bar, and she is there, ready to stitch you up. She's got everything prepared. She's got gloves on. She's got needle and thread, medical needle and threads, and she just looks at you. the fuck did you get yourself into?
Long story. Gist of it is, he just does this shrugging motion. I got in a fight. Obviously. But
Obviously.
I was out with some friends. Benji slowly props himself up onto the, the table set up for checking people, making sure they're okay. I was out with some friends and we got, well, they're pretty good at finding trouble. Or maybe I am. I don't know.
I know you are.
I don't think it's necessarily because I'm looking for it anymore.
You stepping out of the ring just to get beat up in the fucking street?
It's complicated. I've been hanging out with some folks and they got problems. Kinda like
Everybody's got
Bobby.
problems.
Yeah. It's kind of like as bad as Bobby's, but
Oh, Jesus.
I can't really leave them alone, you know?
So where are they now? Why aren't they here? Why aren't they here with you?
They had other things to get to. I wanted to make sure that they were safe. So, here I am.
Here you are, bleeding all over my table. And so she goes to stitch you up, patch you up, little butterfly band-aids across the cuts on your face.
Benji's anxious, to say the least. Is the blood roused enough? Do I look alive enough? I wonder. The longer I'm like this, how much farther am I from that? He's just thinking all of this to himself. Hey, Carmen,
Yeah.
if you had friends who are into some really dark shit,
Define dark shit.
uh, kinky, I guess. I don't...
I mean, that's not abnormal.
But it got them in trouble
Oh.
pretty often.
If your kinks are getting you in trouble, maybe you should stop. I mean, troublemaking in the scene really is not a good idea because you get banned everywhere.
True. But, I mean, how much. How much are you actually. How much would you be willing to give up for someone you cared about?
That's a loaded philosophical question.
Well, I'm just wondering, you know?
I don't know. I'd go out of my way to help them. I wouldn't try. I would do everything that I can to help them. But, you know, if. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I'd do anything illegal. Maybe.
Well, I'm not saying I would either. I'm. Fuck.
I don't know
I
what
mean,
you're
I am.
getting at.
I don't know either.
What are you asking me, Benji?
I'm asking if I should run or if I should just stand my ground.
I don't know. Kind of depends on which one's more advantageous, or which one makes you feel better.
I don't really know either.
Does this have something to do with your friends?
It's got more to do with me than my friends at this point.
So, if you're having an issue where you're trying to decide if you should run away or stand your ground, I have never known you to run away, Benji. And if it's something stupid that's got you thinking that you should run, listen to that. But also don't change. Does that make sense?
Kind of, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just a med student.
You just look out for people all the time.
That's kind of my job.
Yeah. Not mine, but at this point I'm starting to think I'm trying to do it.
Then do
I
it.
want to think. I want to think I can. It's hard.
Then just
Maybe I'm
do
just.
it. It's not that hard. I mean, it's hard to know what you're good at in order to help people, but just do it.
Okay, Shia LaBeouf.
Fuck you.
Benji pulls out his phone, messages Amber. Just says, I'll be back tomorrow. Sorry for the inconvenience. Then he goes out of the messaging for Amber and texts Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
Messages him. You got any leads?
He responds 2 or 3 minutes later. Still working.
Benji thinks about it. He doesn't really know directionally where he should be moving. Is this big impending force coming for him? As much as he wants to think he can take it head on, as much as every instinct in him tells him to take it head on, he knows that's not the smart move. So he's got to come up with something else. He doesn't have a lot of avenues, and he hardly knows how to make them. So out of all the ones that he has, he's got to take what he can. He thinks, ponders. He resigns himself. Once Carmen was done stitching him up, pulls down his shirt. He smiles gently at her. You're always out here saving my ass.
Well, quit getting in scraps that are not in the ring, and I won't have to get called out. in the middle of the night on my day off.
Sorry. Were you in the middle of anything important?
Not terribly. I'm with this cute girl.
Girl.
Yeah. She was
She
nice.
looks up.
She was pretty.
I didn't know you were into girl. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. I guess I never said anything, huh? Yeah.
Was it? Right? Were you this whole time, like exclusively, or?
Not exclusively, but preferably.
Ah. Well. Thanks.
Anytime. She kind of ruffles your hair a little bit. Now get out of here.
He smiles. He waves. He heads out La Medianoche. From where he's at, he decides, fuck it, might as well head back to the Coterie house. Messages Amber again, OMW, and just starts walking.
It is going to take you a little while to get back to the Coterie house without a car.
Oh, expected.
Your car is here.
Is it?
Is it? I don't know.
I usually assume if I started at the Coterie house, I took my car there.
That's probably right. So you walk back. Having spent nearly the whole night, you'd be stuck out there.
That's fine. His car's there, so
Might as well
it
go
doesn't
back
really.
for it.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of options there.
So you start walking back. Amber, Urian, is there anything else that you would like to say to each other before the night is out?
Nope. I'm entirely focused on getting back. Have to wait on. Well, I have to end up waiting on this fox to arrive, and apparently, well, it doesn't end up helping that Clovis apparently has something to drop off, so can't stay up too late.
As I get those couple of texts from Benji, Amber's there holding her phone in her hands before she puts it into her pockets. She turns to Urian. She goes, "You know, I think at some point I'm gonna have to stop by my haven and get my big boots. Because I'm then going to proceed to shove them up Benji's ass. Sideways."
You will do no such thing. If you're so distraught over the loss of a single feeding, perhaps you should focus.
Oh, no. I'm not distraught over the feeding. No. That's not what this is about. He's being... How do I put this? A cheeky dick waffle.
I do not understand your obsession with his cock, but if you need him to drop trow...
But just lost it. I was like, no, if I wanted him to do that, I'm sure I wouldn't have too many trouble getting him.
Given your demeanor, I'm starting to doubt it.
It's like, no.
Are you just not used to somebody telling you no?
It's not that. It's not that I'm used to people telling me no. It's more. Let's just chalk it up to youthful rage and let's get back to the Coterie house.
No, 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 no. Not before we settle this. Let me make it very clear, in case you did not know. If you believe that causing harm to Benji over what happened tonight
Oh no,
is...
harm is not
Let me
something.
finish!
Okay.
If you believe causing harm to Benji will assist you in any way, if you believe that you're trying to prove a point to Benji by slugging it out, I have no qualms in just staking you and leaving you in the ground. Because right now, he is a far more valuable asset. He has proven himself time and time again. You, on the other hand, are still here coming into this, giving you plenty of opportunities. I was willing to end up assisting you in feeding. That is what I do. But when I place a guideline, when I make a, if you have to use such a word, decree, I expect it to be followed. And if you starting to turn on Benji, ends up meaning that now we are inconvenienced. I will have none of it. And if Benji so much as comes in with a mark, I will end up putting it on your head. So it is in your best interest, dear Lady Dupree, that Benji remains nice, sated, calm, and whole. His interest is your interest. And in time, it should be the other way around as well. But if you think that going over to get your big boots, well, let us simply say that I am not opposed to making you bleed in more ways than just your forehead. And he glances down the where the floor should be, making reference to what Benji earlier said.
Amber just raised her hands and said, "Yeah, okay. Message received."
Fantastic. Now, is there anything else I need to know? Because right now, I thought it was a nice fine feeding, and Benji just left on his own accord.
He said he's on his way back to the.
Fantastic. Now, hopefully, we can end up keeping the infighting and stupidity to a minimum. You want to end up having him respect you, you earn it. And you earn it not through threats. I threaten. Very rarely. However, I do promise. And unlike many young ones who end up promising that, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that, in rage, when I say I'm going to do something, it is a guarantee worth its weight in gold and blood. That is how you earn respect.
Amber feels as if she has something else to say, but she leaves it. She leaves it there. There's not a lot of point in poking the sleeping bear any further than she already has. It's already blearily waking up. Let's not enrage it, shall we?
And with that, without another word, unless Ember says otherwise, right to the haven.
feel as if that little voice in the back of your head stretches and yawns. That felt good, didn't it?
What felt good?
Making a decree.
Yes. Yes, it did. I cannot change what I am, however much I try and pretend it otherwise. But there's a fine balance. Tips one way or the other. I get killed by them, or I get killed because of you. Either way, you're a forgotten memory who had your chance. I get the second chance because I am stronger. I am worthy of it. I have age, wisdom, and knowing how this game is played far beyond you ever did. So, right now the only thing that I have to consider, do I end up accepting this path of rabbles and wolves and outlanders, a path of child fledglings, these young ones, and trying to make the most of it? Or do they show them what real power is? Decisions.
Decisions. And that is where we will end tonight's session, with the three of you returning to the old Coterie home to sleep off the day and awake a new night. And that concludes episode 1 of San Antonio by Night, The Oncoming Storm.
Yay!
Yay!
God.
I'm just gonna note for the audience out there. No, Amber isn't actually thinking of hurting Benji in any way, shape, or form. She's just speaking out her ass to make her feel better.
I just want them to
Of
get
course,
really
Urian being older doesn't get it. And I can't wait for Amber to tell him. It's like, no, I'm not actually gonna hurt Benji. I'm just speaking out of my ass to make myself feel better. It's like
That's
he's
gonna get her in
irritated.
so much trouble.
Yeah, it's like, did his actions irritate me? Yes, they did. Am I gonna hurt him over it? No,
Yeah.
no, I'm
couldn't.
not.
She really couldn't.
I wouldn't say couldn't. She definitely could. The thing is she can't do it the way Benji does it.
Yeah.
It's true.
She can't hurt Benji the way Benji would hurt Benji any more than Benji can do what Urian does better than Urian. It's just
They
you
can
play
hurt
to
each
your
other.
strengths. You
They can
figure
hurt
out
each
how
other.
to use it.
Yeah, they can hurt each other in very, very different but equally as devastating ways.
Well, that has yet to be seen.
Also
But
want to
no.
give a quick shout out to ShadowGamer264 for the follow and the subscription today.
Hey,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much
Yes.
if you're still here. It's much appreciated. I appreciate you so much. You are now a cool kitty.
That was good, kitty.
Cool kitty, good kitty. You're both, because you're a tier 1 sub and you're a follower now, so there's that. So, how do we like episode 1 of season 2?
Interpersonal
great.
drama.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a personal drama.
We
Yeah.
had a basic feeding scene that actually went pretty well. That's
Thank
really
you for
the whole
throwing
game
me a
today.
bone.
I threw you a bone. Yes, I did.
Yes. But now I have more. Now I have I might be able to call upon. I think it would be argued to say that I can at least use one of those herd dice at any given time now, because I'm effectively doing it with Alfonso.
Mm.
I would argue, but that's just me being hopeful, truthfully.
When he's present, then yes, you would be able to do that. You'd be able to exchange a herd adopt for yourself.
But
He has his own projects.
yep. But
Which you learned a new fun little tidbit about him.
yep.
He's been
And
fiddling with alchemy.
now he has a gift from Urian. He is now warded against the ghosts that haunt him. So
I will go ahead and make a note on his character sheet, actually, that he is, in fact, warded. Just in case that comes up at some point. Just put that in my GM notes.
Benji's crush just curbed him so hard today. Yes, I prefer women. Oh.
That wasn't
Benji.
planned. It just happened.
rarely are any of these planned.
It's true. It's true.
My personal favorite still comes. Well, I'll wait until third because I'm pretty sure Urian clinches the best one-liner.
Oh yeah, we are definitely going to get to experience here fairly shortly. But anyone have desires that they fulfilled today
Nope.
to heal willpower?
But I know what my desire is next session, so I'll throw it right now.
I need to change my desire.
You should do that for next session.
Yeah, that's what I will change.
I would argue I've gotten one step closer to my ambition.
Oh?
Okay. Please describe what step you think that was.
Well, I've now extended my reach because now I can end up. I have someone bringing me another thin blood.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I have extended my reach. It's a small thing, but it is a thing. It is a step forward.
It is a reach forward. Yep.
Yeah.
Not like you wouldn't recover all of your willpower by next session anyway, but
Yeah, well, I do my best to make sure I'm never needing to roll because Derek rolls.
right.
Like, yeah, the only time I roll really good is when it's not mission critical. Such as building a ward for an NPC and saying, "Here you go, 8 successes." What?
Yeah, that was the most immaculate spirit ward that you have ever drawn.
Yeah, that's
Even
that's better than most
your
humans.
practice doodles for the circles were paled in comparison. This is perfection.
All right.
But yes.
But yeah, any spirit that touches him that he didn't actively reach out to touch, yeah, they get burned by one aggravated.
Yep.
You're in. Do we have an hour? Do we have an hour when we get back?
Thereabouts. Why do you ask?
I want to make one more ward.
One more ward. Which ward are you doing?
Ward against ghouls.
What are you putting it on? There's
I
a difference
am.
between ward and warding circle.
Yep. I have no warding circles. I only have wards.
Okay.
But I would like to end up doing one against ghouls.
Okay. And what object would you like to put it on?
I am placing it on my overcoat.
Your overcoat. Okay.
Yeah. Because I only take that shit off when I am not hit when I'm either in my haven or while I'm in the middle of mass. Okay, let's hope the rouse check likes me this time.
Yes.
Nope,
No,
but
doesn't like you this
you wanna
time.
know what? You know what? I've gotten away with a lot of hunger rolls and only lost one hunger, so I'm fine with that.
Okay. Very nice.
Hopefully, when I wake up tomorrow, it's not that bad.
Right.
Either that or I'm taking a chunk out of Amber's ass. So,
Nah.
And that one will roll should a ghoul decide to touch you without your consent.
yeah. So,
Just
okay,
make a
we're
note on
going.
your sheet that you have that on your clothing.
Okay. Where are we? Details. Okay.
There wasn't any conversation that wanted to happen in that last hour, was there? Because Urian's going to be
Nope.
busy casting a spell.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we will start next session.
Amber does want to have a conversation with Benji, but that's gonna be
He like
tomorrow.
We can start
enters
the
the
new day doing
Coterie
that.
house.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be tomorrow.
She decided not to when Benji entered the house. His shirt's covered in blood. She's staring at him in the living room, and he just flashes a look. Like,
Yeah, Urian's about to lose his shit on Amber now. What did Urian say?
No,
no.
Amber's just gonna be like, hey, he left the club long before that. I have no idea what happened to him.
Yeah, just as no one will know what happened to you.
Oh no! Dad's upset!
Yeah, no, Amber's just gonna be like, hold on, Benji, what did you do? Why are you covered in blood?
I don't want to talk about
Please
it.
tell Urian it wasn't my fault.
All right. And it's decided. Part of my plans for next session. Talk to Amber.
Alright.
Nice.
Alright.
So experience is one for everyone,
Yeah.
and then we also have the best scene, the plot mover, and the best one-liner or memorable quote. So, who moved plot?
Do we even have to ask?
The plot being everybody gets food.
Do we even have to ask?
I mean, I would like for you guys to ask. I'm not the one assigning the
Urian.
experience. You guys are.
Urian did the work. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, no, he did the one.
Urian, do you have arguments?
I could argue that Amber's the catalyst.
That's a fair argument as well.
I mean, I'm willing to vote for me.
Can't have it
Roll
both
it.
ways, Amber.
Well, we could.
I
It's
mean, you
just a
could.
higher
It's
low
a higher
roll.
low roll.
Yeah, I'll give it myself and give Urian the best one-liner.
We're not
This is
moving
how
on
it's
to that
going.
just yet. We're moving on.
Yeah, but no, that's what I'm saying. No, I will
So-
vote for myself.
All right, we're high or low. I'm going high. So, are you agreeing with this?
Yeah.
All right, it's either all or nothing.
All right, you land it. You both get it. You don't. You're both out. You both lose out.
Wah,
The
wah.
Juju's.
Womp womp womp. Sad trombone.
The Juju's were not on my side this time.
Not today. Best scene.
Benji and Amber battling it out for Carmen.
I kind of want to agree, but I gotta slide it to Benji because not only was that a good scene, but Benji and Carbon afterwards was no, I prefer women. Like,
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm
so
willing to give it to Benji
defeated
for that.
face that I imagine from him so much.
he's had a crush on this girl for like a year.
Poor
The
boy.
entire time he's been with his Isabella. What a fucking bummer.
Oh no.
He's a little heartbroken. He's gonna go take it out on Rascal's shit.
All right, then I think is that unanimous for Benji then?
Yeah.
Benji
Yeah.
gets a scene.
Yay.
One-liners.
And I'm gonna end up taking that.
Yep.
Which line are we?
I have an
Putting-
argument.
Oh.
Oh,
But yes, go ahead.
What-
no, go ahead. What's your argument? Because I know my line.
I bleed. Oh, you mean like points down?
Oh, no, that was good. That was good. I still don't think it quite beats though. It's like, why would you wish to put Benji's cock on the block?
Look.
I fucking love Urian for his stupid.
Dad jokes.
Oh,
Not
he's,
even dad
like-
jokes. He's literally that out of touch. They're just funny because he doesn't know any better.
he's so funny. He's so
You know,
adorable.
I can just imagine Amber at some point being sarcastic with him, being like, "Yes, Mr. Doyle, I like the cocks that I suck on a silver platter."
Sure enough, next week here's a whole bunch of a whole bunch of them literally laid on a head. Yeah, silver. Yeah, platter fresh cut.
And Amber's like, "I was being sarcastic, Mr. Doyle. I was
Well, you
being
better enjoy your.
sarcastic."
You better end up enjoying your meal then, because
That's
unfortunately,
going to go cold.
it's getting cold. Finish your supper.
Kidding. That's fucked up. It's so funny, but it's so fucked up.
It really is though.
It's just like how many men did you
12.
1? 12.
Doesn't even skip a beat.
To be fair, I think only half of them qualified as men, and now none of them do.
It's like, oh god, now there's a dozen eunuchs running around.
Oof.
They're not running. I can assure you of that. You don't run after that.
Nope.
Oh god damn it, Benji.
Hail Satan!
The head cannons. Oh god.
And just keep digging your grave, Amber. Just keep digging.
Just keep digging. Just keep digging. Diggy diggy hole. Diggy diggy hole.
Yeah.
So I only got 2 experience this time.
Yep.
Uh,
Any expenditures?
Only got 2 floating, so
Same.
I got a bank. I put everything I had into trying to get us to herd. So
Just as a reminder, if you guys are looking for that new haven, the two haven dots will float to a new haven. It is any additions that will not.
Yeah.
So the
I-
current haven is currently warded versus spirits,
Yep.
and that's a 2-dot ward. So the 2-dot size will move. The 2-dot ward will not.
okay. I have something to pose.
Okay.
Urian. I'm willing to, if you're willing to back up on this one, I'm willing to spring out for Cell.
spring out for sell.
For Cell.
Because we regularly kidnap people.
We regularly kidnap and keep prisoners. And I imagine this is probably something that Amber's been working on in the background, and I imagine her being like, wait.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Hold off on that. I'm not writing it off. But let me bank enough experience to get our new haven first. So this way, we're not, pardon my French, shitting where we eat.
I just told you that the Haven dots are moving.
Yeah, the two Haven dots for size are floating. It's just additions
Okay.
that we need to spend on.
So if you want
Okay.
additions to go into this Haven, then yes, you spend experience to get them.
Okay. Is I would prefer the cage at the general meeting location, and
Okay.
yeah.
The meeting location is one of those things that really doesn't count as a Haven anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm allowing the size dots to float.
Okay. Yeah. So if that's the case,
Do you have a 2 dot size banked for a specific place? I even have a scene for it. You just need to tell me what additions you want on it when you quote
when we
buy
finally
it.
pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I'm just blood bonding the owner.
Yep.
Yeah. Because, Urian's an ass like that.
that
Oh,
no,
I need to
I'm
make
willing.
that
I'm
guy
willing.
then.
I'm willing to back you up
I
on
have a
sell.
perfect asset for it.
Fantastic.
I have a
Don't.
No, I need it.
Yeah.
I have a perfect guy. Yep.
Alright. Fantastic.
Thankfully,
to get
I
to
have
10
spare
XP.
assets in order to do that kind of a thing in case you guys create essential NPCs that I'm gonna need.
Hmm.
And I don't
But-
exactly have character sheets made or tokens.
That
Don't admit that. We don't want to know what's behind the curtain.
They're
Or the lack thereof.
really just blank square existing photos that I had in my folder.
fair enough.
I have these spare assets for a reason.
Yeah, that's why I
Yes.
keep Amber around.
Black Wolf. Amber has a fine art, and she's gonna have to. She's gonna have. If all else fails, she's gonna have to go to Yuri. Wait! Don't kill me. I've been working on something that I think you might like.
Also, Shadow Gamer, thank you for the 100 bits.
Yeah. Also, as a note, just to be clear, Amber, I am now putting you down for another minor boon.
Yep. All right.
You're racking them up, Amber.
It's okay. Benji has a bunch too.
Her rash mouth and Urian not understanding of the way that the current generation talks is kicking Amber in the fucking teeth.
Tiny bit.
I imagine she's gonna eventually have to explain to Yuri, like, look, I'm not actually going to hurt Benji. It's just the way we talk to each other. I promise you he's gonna be fine. I'm not gonna touch him. Anyone else?
Now
like,
he'll just be disappointed.
Amber's like, yeah, well, he can be disappointed. It's not. I mean, to be fair, I mentioned that once in front of him, and he went bright fucking red. He's like a.
Okay.
He's like a. Wait. You don't think he's a virgin, is he?
Oh no.
That thought is going to occur to Amber eventually. When it does, you're gonna want to be running scared, Benji.
He already is. Okay.
You guys are lovely. I love you so much.
We're degenerates. What are you talking about?
I mean, that's the only way I would like it.
Yeah.
I'll pay that. That's funny.
But yeah, that is
Let's see here.
experience and everything. So if you guys decide to spend anything as a team or individually, you are free to do so. Examples are in the Discord. They're not. That's not limited to, but that is examples of things that would probably work for the Coterie.
Are there examples in the Discord?
I posted them in the Coterie chat.
I missed them.
Uh,
Oh wait. Oh yeah, the text. Okay.
To include, but not limited to, because there are other things that you could add, such as like luxury dots and
Let me
uh,
get back to you on that.
other things. But
Amber will add luxury dots. Not right now, but
so yeah, we could talk more about the essentials and what you plan for the coterie, the new coterie house as a group, where this is your private sleeping space. In the Discord, more if you guys want. But that does it for today's session. Tomorrow I will be back with Caffeine Fix at 6 Mountain Daylight Time, and I'm going to be working on some commissions because I've got one to finish for Hypnotic Gamer, and then Black Wolf also has a thought for a commission tomorrow. So there's that.
Ooh.
Yeah. On top of that, it's probably going to be other art. I can't even promise because I have no idea. But commissions definitely. Personal art maybe. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the first episode of season 2 of San Antonio by Night. We will see you tomorrow for Caffeine Fix, and again Wednesday for more San Antonio by Night. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
bon oui.